live and squared away. Sorry about that, everyone. Stream went down for a moment, but now cars are getting dicey. RZX Nix, or formerly RZX Nix, Nix Designs, able to make his way back up to first. And it's going to be Vision, Tomato, and Nix all battling for the lead.
Yeah, right now, so many 3 wides. We're about 3x3 right now. So everyone's trying to get every position they can, but also this means there's very little room for error. Now 3 wide for the lead. Team Tomato side by side.
Fight his way back.
Go for it.
Yeah.
All you.
Yeah, no, about to mention Jacob and Tomato both battling their way back side by side. Cart, he's sticking behind Jacob. He's sticking with him right now. Them forming all of these lanes 3x3x3. Right now, it's very early, but they're getting a little bit dicey, but they're able to hold it for now.
Yeah, and again, like I said, the room for error while they're 3x3 is so little. We might see, Cart was almost going to push a 4 wide, decided against it. Tomato Drifts is going to hold that lead, but now 3 wide for the lead yet again.
So cars that we have currently right now on that inside lane, that's Jankum, Kart Racer, RVN Twitch. Looks like Frodo behind him. And then we're going to have the 34 right after that. That's XR Frosty making an XRS start. Through the middle lane, we have Tomato. Looks like that's MVP behind him. Looks like that's JSR Blackened behind him.
Just heard over race control. Someone has been giving a warning for aggressive blocking. I would go ahead and assume it'd be one of the leaders, but couldn't tell you which one as of yet.
All right. So
yellow flag out. Cars spinning in the back. 3 cars. 24's turned around up against the wall. Can't quite make out who that is, but it is another red car.
Yep, the 24 has spun out. That's the Big Mav.
Silent was involved in that. Number 15, he was up against the wall.
So that pushed him all the way back. And caution called. Everyone's slowing down. It looks like at the line, it was Nix who was able to grab the lead, potentially. Tomato, he speeds back up there now, so it could have been him. Oh, it took about 9 laps before we reached our first caution flag. But first,
like
how many for tonight?
Yeah, that is the question. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I'm actually surprised that was only a 3 car because, like I said, the margin for error when they were that close together is so minimal. If you slip up for half a second, there goes to half the field, right? So I'm actually surprised again that it was only a 3 car.
Yeah, indeed. That is the way that goes there.
We'll see if there's any takers for pit road. I don't believe there should be many, if any. Like we said, only 9 laps in, so most of these tires are still good. Most people should be good on fuel. Couple of fakers, couple late entries.
Tomato looks like he's going to go in pit road.
But Nix will take the lead now.
Yep, now we have Nix Designs.
Frodo, Rays, LMP, Stancy, Big Boy, D-Dog, Silent are all your takers.
So that gives the lead to Nix Designs. It looks like he's opted to take the outside lane here. Restart and start rules are going to be the same. Nix, he has elected the outside, but that does not mean everyone behind him needs to move up to the high line. Only the front row has lane choice. After that, it is pretty much traditional order. We're going to have odds go on the left and even start on the right.
Yeah. So again, this is where the strategies are now going to start to defer. is we had those people that went in on lap 9. People are still didn't go in, so we're going to see these strategies start to defer, and we'll see what people opt to do.
And from here, I can only imagine it's only going to be a fuel mileage game from this point onward, because you being able to have the hard tire equipped, you don't lose as much speed as long as you're in the draft. So tires really won't be a factor here tonight, but fuel, definitely. So we're going to see how it plays out being able to pit this early.
So, update from race control. Actually, I'll let them start here, and then I'll say what I have to say.
All right, Nix with control of the field here for the restart. It looks like he's going to get the field back going to green. Green flag, back out.
So, the aggressive blocking that was called out during a roughly lap 7 was on RVN Twitch. So, it was just a warning for him, but again, something to watch out for that could develop later into this race.
So RVN Twitch, that being the number 40 Amazon Toyota. Right now we're going to ride along with him. He did kind of mention that he was going to be a menace on track today. Let's hope he didn't take everything to heart. And oh, it looks like Kart Racer's going to get shuffled out to that high line.
Ooh,
does he have a spot to file
contact
in between him and the 75? No, he does not. Kart Racer is going to get shuffled out on that outside. More shuffling and dicing around. That was close. That could have been a big wreck.
That definitely could have been, especially when it's at the front like this. A lot of guys are kind of being a little aggressive off this start. I think they can kind of see how this is going to go with the first couple laps, that it's going to be turning into a 3-wide mosh pit. So they're going to try and fight for these
pulls his way up into that third lane. Looks like he's going to make it hold for now. Nix throws up to block. That's going to leave a room for MVP to come through the middle if he can.
Oh,
Twitch trying to really fit his bumper there, and he will get that third lane.
Yeah, it's really hard for these leaders to try and block 3 lanes, especially when you have a guy below you. That was good moving by Twitch. Definitely an aggressive move, but a good move that he made it work.
Now Nix, noticing he's clear, he's going to file back up, but now MVP coming through the middle.
That middle lane's really working to get something going here. Try and get MVP out in front. Let's see if MVP's going to stick with that middle lane, or if he's going to try and go and block someone if he gets out front.
Close call right there. LMP Amoeba, the 78, the black car all the way up on the high line. He got tagged a little bit, but he's able to keep it straight for now. And now
3
Twitch,
wide
he got shuffled
lead
out there to the middle. Yes, 3 wide. Jankum trying to get cleared there on the bottom. MVP in the middle, and it's Nick's design through the high line. Frodo, he's going to move out of line. He's in that middle lane now with Exif behind him.
Seems like a lot more cars are going to try and bank on that third lane. I'm seeing a lot more cars starting to move up there. You see a gray car in the back, don't have a number yet. That's going to be Asif in the 29, followed by the number 5. Oh, stack up. They're checking up high on the high side. Someone hit the wall.
Yep, big stack up right there. They're able to make it hold. It looked like it might have been Nix, but he's able to make it hold. We're going to ride along with someone who's in a very tough spot, and he's going to take advantage. Reward there to the outside. He's going to contest for the lead in that third lane. He was stuck in a pinch behind MVP for the more so since the restart, pretty much.
It's getting very, very dicey up front. Very, very dicey. Very close, especially in that middle lane.
Very close racing, very bumper-to-bumper action here at Daytona thus far. Jankum still holding on the inside line since the restart. Nix has then fallen back from the lead to the second car on the third lane.
Reward got very loose coming into turn 1. I was really worried that he was going to spin there, but he was able to save it up after getting a bump from behind. They're getting very dicey, very aggressive up front here.
And look at this very cool image that you can see right here. The front row is a Chevy in the bottom, a Toyota in the middle, and a Ford trying to lead the top.
Yeah, it's really nice with all these cars because there's really not a huge difference between any of these cars, and they can all work together, unlike in Forza Motorsport 7 where there was slight differences between these cars.
But those slight differences made a big picture there. Back in FM7. Oh, car around in the middle! Into the wall they go.
4, 5, 6 cars maybe collected in that.
One car able to hold it off, save it.
Yellow
Others,
flag
not
is
so
out.
well. Caution will be
Exif,
called.
Silent, Legend, Santy Boy, Mav, I believe all the cars are involved. Oh, coming to the line, another crash on the front straightaway out of turn number 4.
Hard crash there. We only got a glimpse of it there on the stream because we were looking back at other cars that were involved. Caution is out for the second time tonight.
Design's involved in that one. MVP involved. I believe Tomato Drift was also involved in that. Seven cars involved in the two wrecks that happened. If not a couple more that got hit once or twice, but were able to keep moving at speed.
And I believe that was NWR Silent who went around to start that in that first incident. If not, I'm going to check who's last right now. Nope, it wasn't Legend. I'm trying to look at the car design. I want to say
it was Silent, I believe.
Yep,
Silent was one
the
that I
first
did
car
see go around.
Yeah, he got caught up there in the middle. The middle is a very difficult lane to work your way around, especially in big packs like this.
And especially when you're in that middle lane, if something happens in front of you, you don't really have an escape route. You just have to kind of go and hope for the best, right? If you're on the low lane, you have that apron that you can try and get down on. If you're on the high lane, you can creep up to the wall, and you should have the most room between bottom and middle. But if you're in that middle lane, you're just completely stuck, and you have to just hope and pray.
So
A lot of
now,
takers this time.
lot of takers. Similar amount to last time going into pit road, but this time, obviously, some cars might have gotten damaged in that wreck. Now that gives the lead over to EMC Vision.
Yeah. Jakeem, Frosty, Rewire, Twitch, Ty, Blacken, Santy Boy, Nix, Exif, MVP are your takers.
And it looks like Vision is going to elect the inside line while Frodo moves up there to the high line with him. EMC Motorsport, a big name here in the Forza Motorsport community, and not too far behind him, you see LMP Amoeba, Team LMP, another name in the Forza Motorsport world. We're excited to have them tonight. And we're mixed in with a couple of rookies and veterans here.
Yeah, and this is the point where we're going to start seeing the meshing of them, right? You're going to see some rookies that are going to be standout rookies throughout the season. They're going to really challenge some of these veterans because, again, it's going to be very competitive this season. We have all sorts of different skill levels, but a lot of competition in total. So it's going to be a fun season.
Definitely. Cars are all double filed here. They're made their way through 3 and 4. Looks like we're probably going to get the field back going to green again. EMC Vision on the inside, Frodo FM on the outside, and green flag back out in the air. Let's see how long this time before we run into another incident.
Frodo immediately went down to that inside lane. He cut off Dawson behind him. So this lane could get going a lot quicker than that top lane.
He definitely took that opportunity to the fullest when he could. And I see trying to get that overlay to work. I don't think it updated quite yet, so I'm going to try to
Frodo's
refresh
going to
that.
clear Vision. He went and took Amova with him. Now they're
Amoeba,
side by
yes.
side for the lead. Amoeba.
Yep, Amoeba and Frodo side by side for the lead. Amoeba with a technical teammate behind him, and Kart Racer. Kart Racer does drive for Team LMP as a reserve driver, but he's going to shuffle out to the outside. LMP Amoeba now stuck up on that third line. Kart Racer now takes the point. Going to be side by side with Frodo with D-Dog behind him making a return tonight.
Yeah, Amoeba hit the wall ever so slightly on the outside, and it really set him back about 4 or 5 positions. So that's just how much a small mistake can cost you. Oh, one car below the double yellow. Didn't catch who it was. I believe it might have been number 6 of Shady.
Could have been, yes. Yeah, this overlay is currently not working, so I'm going to need to refresh Streamlabs.
Frodo and Kart still side by side for that race to lead. We're seeing a third line start to form. Couple cars hitting the wall, but they keep it clean. We're 4 wide momentarily in the middle of the pack. Nix is not going to take the lead on that top lane. Hasn't cleared the other 2 below him, but now they're going to be 3 by 3.
There we go. We finally got that updated. Sorry, that was bothering me there. All right. So now we're back to this. Frodo going to be the lead car in the inside lane. Kart Racer stuck in the middle. And then that's Nix being a top car all day long, staying high on that third line. Blackened almost got into the wall a little bit there. They're in the 4th row. That could have been really bad if he ended up getting force a wall.
Yeah, that could have been really bad, especially again once you're in that middle pack area, deep in front of the pack. If you get Forza walled, it's very hard for everyone else around you to check up. That could have been gone hugely wrong for everyone involved.
Looks like Jankum trying to make his way back up on that third line, trying to get back up to his pole position, his starting spot. More cars jostling and a car around in the rack. Looks like that's LMP Amoeba spinning down the front straightaway.
Couldn't hear if there was a caution called or not. I believe since it's just a 1 car, they might let it continue. Good to go.
Well, the ruling is it has to be a 2-car incident. No matter what, it can't be a single car incident with damage. So if Amoeba spun off another car, then that would be a yellow, dependent on if he wanted it called or not. More jostling around, D-Dog!
At the line, they're calling. Oh, car going around behind, front straightaway.
Car going around again,
2 cars.
front straightaway, multiple cars. That's Rewar, Tomato, all going around.
Such an upset for Tomato. He was 2nd place in this. Oh, more contact just before the line. Amoeba slammed into someone. I think that was Thigh that he slammed into.
Now caution will come back out again. Looks like Kart Racer will get the lead from Frodo, with EMC Vision rounding up the top 3. Jankum and Dawson rounding up the top 5. Then we have RV on Twitch, XR Frosty, RZX U5 AMVP, the Big Mav, and Nix Designs rounding up your top 10. So Nix trying to battle up there in just a matter of not even half lap. He went from battling 3rd place there on the high line to now he's back in 10th.
Yeah, like just look at our top 10 compared to how the race started. There are not many people, if any, that have their same position since this race started. So this just goes to show it's not necessarily about speed. It's just about the right place, right time kind of thing. So it's really going to come down to who can survive.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's display the top 10 right now, just so then you can see them side by side. A couple cars mixed in. It looks like the top 5 are all going to head down pit road.
A lot of takers. Majority of the field decided to actually take,
Oh, yes, majority of the field. Looks like from 11th on back went down pit road.
Dawson, Frodo, Jakeem, Kart Racer, EMB, Vision, Silent, Black, and XFD Dog, Amoeba, Shady, and Rays are all your takers.
It's not no Amoeba, it's Amoeba.
My bad. definitely doesn't look like it would be a MOBA.
I've always heard it pronounced amoeba, so unless he yells in my face after this race, I'm going to keep saying amoeba.
It may very well be amoeba, but don't tell me that doesn't look like it's a MOBA.
I know. So that will relinquish the lead, and it looks like RVN Twitch. He already has a warning tonight for aggressive driving. So now he's going to have control of the field, and he's going to lead this field back to green when we come back around. So definitely going to be a restart to look out for and see how much RVN Twitch wants to hang on to that lead. He's going to have XR Frosty to his outside, MVP behind him. And it looks like that's going to be the Big Mav, second car in the outside lane.
Again, we'll see how aggressive these guys want to be off the start. Again, it's very hard to gain a position or two once we start getting 3 wide and 3x3. So I'd imagine we're going to be fairly aggressive off the start to try and get a position or two right off the bat so that once we do hit that 3x3, it's going to be a lot easier to gain position from there.
We'll see where it goes from here. Once again, cars coming off of turn 4 after we've cycled through pit road, the caution cycle, and all of that. Watch out for that blue car there on the bottom. Twitch, he will have control of the field as they enter the restart zone this time. Green flag is back in the air. We're racing back again at Daytona.
Twitch had a huge jump on that lead, and that outside line did not form. A lot of people jump to the inside, so that outside lane is going to be very far behind. A couple cars are going to jump to the outside now.
That's going to lead a lot of cars scattering around for positions. We see MVP making a move to the outside. The Big Mav jumps back down, goes with Twitch there on the bottom. But we have more cars forming on the outside lane. That's XR Frosty, Nick's Designs. Looks like there's going to be Rewar as well. All following through.
Oh. And they just,
to the outside.
Frosty just didn't even bother with MVP. He's going to make him sit in the middle, and he's all by himself. We've seen it work, but it's going to be a lot tougher for him. We're going to be 3 wide now for the lead.
It's going to be tough for MVP to hold that middle line without any support. So we see, looks like Jankum, looks like that's going to be the first car to his bumper. If he can get up to him, he has help from Tomato up the middle.
Yeah, and he will get linked up with him now. So now MVP's going to be able to do something in that middle lane. He's going to go back around the outside of Twitch. No, Jacob's going to squeeze it, and he's going to take the outside lane.
What a move by Jankum. He's going to go from right behind that middle lane, one of the worst places to be, to now contesting for the lead on the outside lane.
He's just going to fall a little back on these corners, but what he can't get in the corners, he'll definitely make up for the straight line speed. You get a lot of momentum on these straights coming out of the top of the corner. So he's going to be able to sit with them for a while, if not, maybe get him on the back straightaway here.
Still making some moves. We're going to go ahead. Let's run with some guys who are more towards the back in terms of position. We have Dawson, that third car on the high line. We're going to ride along with him. Dawson kind of being slow and steady here. He's made his way up. He usually doesn't qualify well. Needed to qualify well today.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, and he scraped the wall.
Oh,
Rewar as well.
More cars in the wall behind him.
It looks like they all keep it straight. They're all going to keep it straight.
They're all going to keep it straight, but they lost a lot of time. They may be forced to make another pack here as there's 2 cars falling behind. I think that might be Silent and Reward. No, Stancy and Reward.
Well, now with everyone running 3x3 up front, the inside lane, that's the longest line of cars right now. So they should be able to still hook back up, take about another lap or 2 to get regrouped. Right now riding with JSR Blacken there on the inside line, currently sitting 12th. Now he moved up actually to the middle. He's going to tuck back in line. Looks like that's behind the 60. Not quite sure who drives the number 60. I do apologize.
Yeah, right now the good part about where Blacken is he can really choose whichever line's doing the best. So whatever line he feels is going to go the farthest, that's who he's going to pick with. And it looks like he's going to be stuck with the middle line now as that kind of pack that was a little behind them is going to catch back up here.
All right, it looks like that was Taihi in the 60 there. I do apologize for that. Still trying to learn this new field. I'm trying to learn off of everyone's numbers.
It'll take some getting used to because obviously new season and a lot of new numbers, new people changing their numbers. So the numbers we're used to people running, like Culture used to be the 15. I don't know if he still is anymore. Oh, I guess he was taken out in the qualifying. So that might be a bad example.
That would be a bad
But-
example there. But yeah, kart racer, he's traditionally in the 21. He's in the 12 today, but that's only because someone else snatched that from him. I believe that was EMC Rags. I don't believe he's in the field tonight, but EMC Rags, he did take that 21 from kart. It was a first come, first serve basis, but we will come up with a more permanent number system towards the end of this season, so no need to worry there for some veterans.
Right now, pretty much every car is 3x3 in some sort of capacity. Not many cars that aren't 3x3, so it's very the drivers have to be very cautious on their movements and their speed. Make sure they're not going to run into the back of the guy in front of them or hit the guy beside them.
That's right along with the 24, the second car in the bottom lane there. That's the Big Mav pushing RVN Twitch. These two have history with each other in a good way. They both run together with Excite Motorsports. Excite being another motorsport team, well known, but also another racing league amongst there that I believe Twitch runs and operates. So glad to have them here tonight in an XRS, but they're working together there on the bottom. Then we have MVP in the middle, but he doesn't really have help from someone he knows. Tomato. They've worked together, but not really as close as they have wanted to. And then really, Jankum caught on that high line. He's by himself because that's XR Frosty behind him, and he has not worked with him at all.
Yeah, and the good part about having people around you that you know is you kind of know how they'll bump draft. You kind of know how aggressive they're going to be when they hit you. So you can just know, and it'll make your riding a lot smoother. You don't really have to worry about them spinning you out. And if they do, it's usually a very big fluke. Where if you have someone who you don't really know how hard they're going to bump you, you don't really know how hard they're going to be on the pushing, how aggressive they're going to be, it can be very challenging sometimes to keep your car completely straight.
And it looks like that middle lane is starting to become more and more organized. They're holding it more together than the inside lane. The inside lane, you see him kind of snaking around, utilizing that double yellow. There on the outside, less cars are in that lane. There's only 3 cars in the third lane now because they don't want to get close to that wall. Exiv moves up all the way in the back, creating a 4th car.
Again, that high lane, it's a very high risk thing because you know if you lose control in the bottom lane, you have the apron. You know, in the middle lane, you can't misjudge what you're doing. In that high lane, if you misjudge and go high, you're into the wall. You're gonna stack up. Chances are you're gonna crash. It'll take a lot of checking it by a lot of drivers for you not to be able to crash, especially if you're closer to the front. So it's a high risk kind of thing, but if you can make that high lane work, it's going to be a high reward for you.
High risk, high reward. You have very little stability running in that third line, but we try to help as much as possible with that front grip handicap. A lot of guys trying to utilize it right now. More cars trying to file in on that third line. Looks like Kart Racer has moved up. I see Ray's Peasant there in the back as well.
Oh, 24
Big
just
Mav.
went below the double yellow. He got pushed. He got pushed by the big boy Mav that's below the double yellow. He's going to lose a lot of positions. He got hit in the rear and just couldn't do it. Oh, now he's going to
he's around.
He came up too early. There's another pack of drivers coming. He's able to get down just as I pass him. Really unfortunate. He got hit in the back and just made him loose off contact. He went below the double yellow. When he tried to rejoin, he just rejoined a bit too early with a bit too much speed there.
Looks like caution will be back out.
There is going to be caution called.
Alright, anyways, pits are open.
We'll give MVP the lead.
So we'll see who takes this time by. A couple of people have already pit twice, even without damage.
Okay, a couple takers there.
Lot
of takers.
Everyone took. Pretty much everyone took. 3 stayed out.
Yep, 3 cars stayed out. That's Jankum, Exiv, and Shady Phonic. Every other driver is in pit road right now.
Yeah, so I would go through who all went in, but I think it's just a lot easier to say who didn't go in.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to say who didn't go in.
Does look like it has shaken a couple things up. Looks like Twitch might have gained a position off pit road here.
Yeah, it's showing now Twitch cycled out to that 4th position.
And this is where betting does actually play a role during these under cautions, as you can get a spot or two depending on how fast your pit crew is going to be.
Well, that never worked with my pit crew.
Well, my pit crew would probably take 10 seconds to just install my tires, so.
I swear it feels like that sometimes. Or it feels like it's going to take 10 seconds just to do. Now, if these were the actual next-gen cars, and we're going off their accurate pit stops, 10 seconds, it's not bad at all. 10 seconds is actually really good. But in Forza, it's supposed to take around 2.5 seconds to get everything done. No, it feels like my team takes like 40 to do something.
My guys forgot to grab the tires. So yeah, again, that's kind of a thing I like about this, is it adds another aspect to it. It's like, do you want to pit and potentially lose a spot or two? Do you want to pit and potentially gain a spot or two? Or do you want to just stay out and hold your position and gain positions off of people who go into the pits? That adds a whole nother aspect to this.
Here we are. Green flag back in the air. We're back to racing at Daytona. 3 cars elect not to go down pit road, and we're going to see how well that holds up for them gaining this track position.
Yeah, the first car in line that's going to be able to test that through is going to be Twitch. He's on the newer tires. I don't quite know what tire compound he's on. However, he is the first car in line with new tires, so we'll see if that helps him any.
We'll see. Exiv, he's showing Twitch that, nope, you're not going to get around me that easily. And actually, Tomato is going to take advantage of a big run. Now, he's going to go to that outside. They're going to be 3 by 3. Jankum trying to pull ahead on the bottom, and he's clear of them.
Now, Jacob's going to take the lead again. That was our pole sitter for this race, but he has a lot of pressure coming on from all 3 lanes. Exif now going to challenge him on the outside of him.
Tomato still holding strong by himself on that outside lane. Twitch! He showed a little twitch right there. Almost got loose in the middle of turns 1 and 2, but he's able to keep it holding straight.
Kart Racer got put into the wall on just exiting turn number 2. He kept his speed up, though, so he should be good. That could have been very bad as he was in the middle of the field.
Exiv then running close. Nick's making a dicey move there to the middle. He almost thought he wasn't cleared, but now Nick's able to be that 3rd car in the middle lane now. More jostling around for position. The 4th and 5th row now.
Yeah, we just hit halfway through the race, so a lot of cars should be kind of seeing their partners. Oh, 1 car in the wall on the outside.
Looks like that was Amoeba.
That was the black car.
I believe that was Amoeba, because I still see Kart Racer. They're running very similar paint schemes, so I believe that was LMP Amoeba who got scraped up on the outside. And that would make sense, because he got sent back all the way to 22nd.
Yep. Seems like a car that's kind of falling behind a lot is D-Dog. He might have some issues with his car. I don't know if he has damage or he's just not liking how it's feeling.
He might not like where he is right now. He might not like trying to be in the middle, high line. He wants to be closer there to that front pack in order to make some moves. Maybe he just feels he's a little bit too far back at the moment.
still too wide, for this lead, but they got to block that middle lane, or else Legend's going to come right up through the middle, and he does.
And he does! Legend right through the middle, making a bold move in his first start. He's going to go right through, and he's going to be clear of that third lane, but stuck side by side with Jenkin for the lead off of 4.
Yeah, those leaders were prioritized blocking the guys behind them, and Legend just shot the small gap he had, but it was just enough to squeeze his car right through the middle, and now can be contesting for this lead here.
There's some great racing happening right now. Nix is now that third car on the high line. Exiv is behind him. Frodo behind Legend in the middle. And then we have Shady Phonic there right behind Jacob on the inside.
Shady's been pretty quiet throughout this race. You know, he hasn't really cracked the top 5, top 10 too much, but he's here now. So he's been quietly moving his way up this field and just been good at avoiding those wrecks that have happened and just keeping clean throughout this race so far. Oh, as I say that!
Down they go! Shady Phonic around! Big wreck here off of turn 4.
It's the big one off turn number 4. As I said, Shady was being able to keep clean throughout this. He immediately got turned. A lot of cars involved in that one.
Shady Phonic, Nix Designs, one of them involved as well. So it looks like those are the only two that really going to have a lot to fall behind. Frodo, also another one involved.
Blackened. I believe Akesef was involved as well.
Caution will come out again here, lap 43. Legend, and of course, commentator curse strikes for the first time in over a year.
You know, I was just complimenting him, you know. He was doing so well, keeping out of the wrecks, and the second I finished my sentence, around he went.
Any of the drivers watching the stream right now, you tell Shady that it was AK's fault. Okay, you tell Shady right now it was AK's fault.
I literally couldn't have timed that up any better if I tried again. I finished my comment, was about to pass it to you, and as I was about to, he went around into the wall.
Yep.
We'll see who takes.
Handful of takers, looks like roughly half?
Couple. I'd say about a third. About a third, give or take. Designs, Frodo, G-Dog, Blackened, Amoeba, Heart Racer, Jakeem, and the Big Mav are all your takers.
Yep, so just about a little over a third goes into pit road there. And that gives Legend the lead. And then Vision will be second, Frosty in third, Stancy Boy fourth, and Dawson fifth. Look at this top 5 right now. Only one XRS veteran in the top 5. The other 4 kind of making their first starts tonight.
Yeah, and again, this is between the shuffle of pit road and a lot of these rookies actually being very, very skillful already. We're not getting, some of the rookies that maybe have to adjust to XRS. A lot of these guys have been racing for a very long time, are already being very competitive in racing for a very long time. So it's really no shocker that a lot of these rookies are mixed throughout the field, even in the top end of it.
We're over halfway in the race tonight. We crossed that just a handful of laps ago. But now that we enter into the second half, track position will become more and more relevant here on the restarts. It's going to be a lot of jostling around, going to be a lot of trying to find out who's your best partner to work with. And we're going to see with a bunch of new guys here at the start of the field, they're going to be controlling this front pack. We're going to see who moves around, who goes with who, and we're going to see what kind of racing are we going to see and expect. Legend and Vision going to be approaching that restart zone once more. Green flag. We're back again racing at Daytona.
Yeah, to add on to your comment just before we went green, I think is we're going to slowly see this aggressive level start to slowly turn up and up and up. until we get down to those last 3 or 4 laps, and then we're going to see really aggressive moves from there on out. So we're going to see them start to get a little bit more aggressive from here on out.
That third line almost get forming right away. NWR silent there, trying to lead it. Looks like MVP now going to jump out. He's going to have a big charge. Vision moves up.
Vision moved up, but I don't know if it was a great move. Stancy just blew by him right with that. He's going to have help from MWR silent, and now that middle lane's going to really form compared to that high lane.
Got formed in line pretty well. Now Legend and Stancy, they're going to be side by side in the middle and bottom line. Vision, he's able to make that run up though. And there we go, Ray's Peasant. Second car into third line, able to make his way back up. A lot of jostling right now in the middle.
Yeah, Ray's running the number 73 right now, and he's trying to make his way using that high lane. I think what drivers are starting to realize is that high lane's not getting a lot of cars as it usually does, so they're going to take the chances on that high lane off the start. Another wreck just as a predecessor to that one. Twitch, Thigh involved. Amoeba, Nix.
Oh, another contact again being made amongst those involved. Caution will come back out.
Two guys that were running really well, especially near the beginning of this race, Nix, Twitch. Those guys had led a couple of laps between the two of them. So two guys that again are really looking to get this win here because they've been very fast all day. Just unfortunately caught up in this.
Yeah, they were getting very dicey there through the middle. So I tried to go back, get a better view, and the second I viewed the other car being Tai, he went around with contact from Twitch. So I knew with how dicey they were getting, they weren't going to hold it.
The race control has just put out a caution interval of 10 laps.
All right, yeah, that is a bunch of that is quite a handful of cautions that we've had here going back to back now. So now caution intervals going into effect. Quick explanation of the intervals. It's 10 laps, so that means when we get back going to green, it will be 10 laps from the start, or the restart, I should say, before we can call another caution. So in this instance, when Stancy Boy crosses the line, we're going to be on lap 48. So we go back to green on lap 49. So it won't be until lap 59 when we are going to have another caution be available. It looks like Taihi
Frost, the MVP, Mav, Frodo, Blacken, Cart, D-Dog, Amoeba, Twitch, and Shady are all your guys that took pits, and one car is parked for the night. That's Ty over there.
Was he parked or did he leave?
Well, he left.
Okay.
But I'm declaring that he parked.
Well, I'm like, don't say parked, because that usually means a black flag.
He was not parked by the officials. He decided his race was done for the day.
So Stancy Boy, Legend, and Silent going to be making up your top three here. Dawson, Vision, up in there with him. Rewar as well. So these guys, they're going to have a little bit of time here. Now that they know that caution will come out for a while, is this the time to where you go really conservative to try and fight for that track position?
I think you'll definitely see a lot of cars start going a lot more conservative here because, again, if you crash during these 10 laps, there's going to be no caution for you. You are not going to be able to get back in. You will have to pit under green, and you will be at a huge disadvantage until the next yellow comes out.
Indeed. So Stancy Boy with the lead, elected to take the high line over Legend. As now they're off turn 4, all double filed. They're going to be approaching that blue restart zone right there. And we're back again, racing at Daytona.
This boy's gonna opt to stay to that high line. He had a chance to go low. Now he's gonna try and block Legend, or maybe he'll try and work with him. I don't know if they're in a partner or in a team, but Santy Boy's a guy that's been caught up in a lot of these wrecks. He hasn't caused them, but he's just been an unfortunate casualty of a lot of these wrecks. So it's silently made his way back up.
And we'll see how it works out all for him. Vision running around in that middle lane. Tomato going to jump up to that third line with Jenkum behind him. And it looks like that's going to be Nix also following third car on the high line. On the third lane, I should say.
Tomato jumped up a lot of spots on that restart. I didn't have his exact position, but I know he wasn't inside that top 5. So he's used that outside line to gain a lot of positions early, because not a lot of cars are wanting to use that outside line or are vacating that outside line. So it may be a good way to get a few positions on this off restarts.
Well, there through the corner, you just had a long line of cars. They're sticking to the very bottom lane, that first line on the bottom throughout the corners here. But on the straightaways, that's when you see guys moving back and forth, trying to take advantage of what line is best for them. Vision going to be side by side, almost going to be side by side for the lead there.
Ooh. Ray's almost just got pinned to the wall by the car to his inside. I want to say that was Nix, who's absolutely climbed his way up through this pack. Again, he was involved in that last caution. So he's absolutely torn his way through this field.
And he has made his way back up. He's the first car on that third line with Ray's behind him. And now Tomato, who we talked about gaining a lot of positions right away, now he's back to around 8th, being the third car on the high line.
Kart racer, ooh. I was about to
very dicey there with Rewar.
Yeah, he was going back and forth for a second there. It looked like he was going to try and switch lanes, but I think the door closed on him and he had to quickly shoot back up to his own lane.
Still a 3x3 battle going on and happening up front. Nix leading that high line, Stancy there on the bottom, and EMC Vision in the middle. It's just a matter of give and take. Even if they're trying to be more conservative, knowing that the yellow won't come out, it's still a game of give and take. Right now, Nix pushes himself ahead, but then here in the corners, Vision and Stancy are going to catch right back up to him.
Oh, car might have been sent up to the wall. I couldn't tell. I think that was like one of the blue cars. I think it might have been Twitch. Racing some positions for that. I don't know if he had contact with the wall, but he definitely shot way up the track.
We're going to ride along with Kart Racer here. He's all the way back in 18th position, side by side with Amoeba. And you see, this is what the drivers are seeing whenever they are battling for the lead, trying to make their way up and through in a game of give and take. There's not much room for you to work with if you're watching from Kart's perspective all the way back right now.
Oh,
and a car around in front of him, that's Reward!
Tomato!
Oh, sorry, Tomato. 2 blue cars. Amoeba around, and Kart is able to avoid all of it.
Tomato, the first car around. There was one car flipping. I think that was Amoeba.
But now this is where that interval comes into play now, because no caution will be called for that incident. With the caution intervals in place, we are still green because we cannot call another caution until lap 59.
No, and a lot of cars either got set back because of that or were taken out. Black and Tomato, Amoeba, Frodo, and Frosty all were hugely affected by that.
Very hugely affected by it. But now this is the lesson that they had to learn. If we're going to have a bunch of cautions back to back, now a race could have been ruined for a lot of people just there if we don't get a lot more running.
Oh, I believe that was Silent. He was pretty much ping-ponging in between the leaders there for a second. I thought for sure he was going to go around.
Looked like it.
But now we're starting to get 2 packs to form. You have this front pack and you have Jakeem, who's gonna look to kind of, if I were them, I would kind of try and link up with Big Mav's kind of 3 cars there and try and form another pack and catch up to this leading pack.
If they can, because right now we're going to have the track map pulled up now with the field very spread out. You see a lot of stragglers that the field will be approaching now, that they're going to be moving faster than the ones that got involved in that spin, in that incident there. So you should see, all these cars were under a blanket not even 3 laps ago. They were all under a blanket. Now they're spread out across the whole track. We have 1 car in pit road. And this is the result of that aggressive 3-wide racing that a lot of guys were doing. Because now, with the caution intervals in place, it's going to take a while and another yellow for them to catch back up.
Yeah, and this lap car is going to be Amoeba, so we'll see what he does here. If these guys will kind of condense and stay into these 2 wide, or if someone gets aggressive. Because if someone gets aggressive as they're approaching him, it could turn out very bad. Either someone will lose a lot of spots, or we could even see a wreck happen here.
So here, looking like they've gone back down to 2x2 here in the front pack. They might make more position changes and making 3 wide every now and then, but I don't think this front pack will go back to 3x3x3 because that just creates a brick wall and not a lot of momentum, realizing that, hey, there's some lap traffic that we might come across.
Yeah, and I doubt they will too, but it's going to take communication between this front pack and Amoeba to try and figure out where he's going to go, that he's not going to get in the way of these racers in the race for the lead. So, we have to be very listening to their radio chatter to try and figure out what's going to happen here. Oh,
Legend getting pushed up. Looks like Dawson was the one that gave him that push. They scramble. They're going to hold it straight for now.
Yeah, they just kind of stacked up, and it started with Stancy. Legend went to Stancy. Stancy went a little low. Legend went a little high, caught his back bumper, and that's what happened is Legend got pushed out to that middle lane there.
So we have EMC Vision, the leader as the moment right now. We have Stancy being the second
2 cars
car
going
inside. In. Oh, yes. 2 cars going in. Looks like that's Exev and Dawson going into pit road. 2 DBM teammates heading in.
And this is where teammates are going to play a crucial role because, yes, they're going to lose positions to that pit stop, but they'll still be able to get up to speed fairly quickly because, again, they'll have each other to draft off of.
Maybe right now they feel like they're within that final pit window. Blackened also going into pit road as well. So it could be we're approaching that final stop window for these cars. If you top off on fuel all the way now and put on a set of mediums, maybe hard tires, you're set for the rest of the race. So you only need to go down pit road if you get damage.
Yeah, and again, like you said, we're starting to approach that window. So you're going to see more and more teams that are close together kind of come in all at once. I'd expect to start seeing teams come in these next 5-ish laps, if not sooner.
Now
they're
really catching Amoeba right here. They're going to catch him right now on the backstretch.
It looks like
he's going to stay to the bottom.
Yep.
He's going to go onto the apron, actually, and let the field go by him.
But because of that, MVP might be able to get past Rays here, might get up to that 3rd spot from that 5th spot, or sorry, from that.
He's going to be contesting.
Actually, he's going to go all
side
the
by
way
side
around
to the lead. He's going to go all the way around that outside. He might even lead the lap, and he will. MVP able to get side by side with the leader now. Vision working on that high line all by himself right now. The closest is NWR Silent, but he's not to his bumper.
Yeah, and this is where MVP is going to struggle. He's going to be able to hold here, but he won't be able to. I don't think he will be able to clear him, but I could be mistaken here.
I don't believe.
Close.
I don't believe with him having that help right now. Nick's now able to follow in line behind him.
Now he might be able to.
Yeah, former RZX teammate right behind him now, so he might be able to get enough of a push to get himself ahead of Vision. But still, with the amount of cars that they have on that bottom line, even though it's not many, there's not many in this pack. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to push himself ahead and clear it.
And here's the interesting question that Legend will do. Will he stay in that bottom lane, or will he try and get up to that top lane? Because he's on these back straightaways, able to clear. He's able to clear Silent to his outside. So He'll be trying to judge to see which lane's going to get him more positions here.
And we'll definitely see where he goes with that. Now the field is getting spread out, but you see the dots all getting closer in relevancy to each other, as Nick's now going to be on the high line. Is going to be 3 wide for the lead and 4, but that's not really going to work for Nick's. Race Peasant might take advantage, and we're going to have cars entering pit road. Vision, Stancy, Ray's Legend, a lot of cars going in.
A lot of cars. Only 2 cars stayed out. MVP, Nick's. From that first pack.
Yep, MVP, Nix, now Amoeba behind him in a lap car.
So now I think we're at that window where a lot of drivers are saying, yep, I need to come in for my final pit stop.
Yep, look at that. How many drivers just went in for their final stops?
Currently, and this is what Amoeba, Black, and Tomato will need, because they were a lap down. Now they're right behind the leaders, so... or at least Amoeba is, so he's right behind the leader, so he can get his lap back if he sticks with these guys when they eventually go into pit here.
Yep, and these guys going to hold out as long as possible. Looks like
caution.
And caution has been called.
Back straight away. Turns 1 and 2.
We see that on the map right now. The leaders are about to pass the scene. Some cars stranded there on the inside. But now it's going to be Nix and MVP contesting with each other in a race back to the caution flag. Amoeba giving Nix some assistance. MVP there on the bottom.
Oh, lap cars coming up, though. This could play a role.
Well, Nix is able to clear MVP.
Nix is kind of boxed in.
He's able to clear MVP, and it looks like he will hold him off, racing back to the caution flag.
Quite see who that car was that did get car being forced to drop to the tail end. It's Twitch. 1 in when pit's closed.
Yes, RVN Twitch, we see that right there. Caution called. RVN Twitch in pit road. He will be forced to drop to the back. Now
check that. Race control is going to allow him to retain whatever position he has. They didn't call that the pits were closed, so they're going to give him 1 free pass here.
Ah, all right. So he gets the free pass because the race directors had a miscue there. But whenever caution, the rule is whenever caution is called, not when caution is out, when caution is called that by a race director, that being Kart Racer and JSR Blackened in the field tonight, when they call caution, so they say caution at the line, or they say caution, and like just caution in general, right? When they say that, from that moment on, pit road is now closed. If you go down pit road, the second that caution is called, you will then be forced to the tail end of the field. Now, in this instance, it looked like there was a miscue from what was being read. And Nix, it looks like he will go into pit road there.
Interesting. MVP's going to stay out.
Yeah, MVP, he stayed out. That's a little surprising there. But depending on when he came down pit road last and how much fuel he has, he feels that, you know what, I'm going to last this out a little bit longer. There might be a lot of wrecks here towards the end of the race. And he wants to keep that track position.
Yep, Big Mav, Nix, Kart, Rays, Frost, Stancy, Amoeba, and Blackened are all your takers this time around. So I'd be willing to believe that one of those cars is one of the culprits that was stuck in the grass earlier.
Yeah, MVP, he's sitting at half tank of fuel right now. So even with him sitting at that much, it's still going to take a while for him to be able to hold it as well as he can. And I'm sorry, I'm still trying to... There we are.
So, race control is just reported to kind of make it even, because Twitch had gotten all the way up to 3rd from his pit. They're going to place him at 10th position. So he's just going to get pretty much, he's going to be set back a couple positions, about 7 to 6 positions. But he won't be forced to go to the rear. So that's the kind of the compromise that race control's come up with here.
All right, I'd say pretty fair because obviously there's a reason why that rule's in place. If you're in pit road when caution is called, that's instantly, hey, you're going to jump everyone who just went down pit road. So a lot of guys went down pit road. Twitch ended up getting all the way up to 3rd for that. So him being sent back to 10th, I think, very good compromise here.
Yeah, and I think it's a good compromise, right? It's not going to hurt him too much, but it's enough to say, hey, you aren't supposed to be doing this, and just for future reference.
All right, we're going to be approaching back to green here. It's going to be MVP on the bottom, Frodo on the high side. Let's get back racing.
Wow, MVP with a big jump off that start.
Frodo able to jump down to the inside line immediately once they crossed. Really big jump from MVP.
Yeah, he had a good 2.5 car lengths before between him and second place, even when Frodo jumped down to that inside line. But unfortunately, because of that, it means Frodo's going to have a huge run up on him, so he might be able to almost clear him.
Going to be approaching to
Another
that
guy who
outside
just
line.
slingshot. Silent came all the way from about 6th or 7th place and slingshotted from that outside line.
Yep, now a lot of cars sitting in that 3rd line. They're starting to form up here. Twitch getting close on the outside, or in the middle, I should say. Getting very close.
4 wide. 4 wide.
And that's not going to work, and around
Blacking.
they go. It's the big one here in turns 1 and 2. Dawson, Blackened, Nix, others all involved here. Massive crash here in turns 1 and 2.
It's easier to say who wasn't involved, and that's AXF, Silent, Frodo, and MVP. Only 4 cars that didn't get hit by something during that. 3 wide for the lead, still has the entry turns 3 and 4.
Yes,
It's called at the line.
It will be called at the line. MVP able to clear for the lead right now. Will they have enough to get a run as they race back to the caution? Silent making a run to the outside. And he got him right at the line.
Really good racing by those 3 at the end, but
really
what a wreck.
good racing, but yes, a wreck indeed.
That took out, let's see here, if my math is right, it should have taken out 18 of the 21 cars still in this race. So, that's 17 cars, I lied.
Yeah, I believe that is when we got the best, that's the wreck we got the best view of, because we were kind of in the middle of it.
So, I mean, I think we all knew it when we seen them try and force that 4 wide. 3 wide's already tight. 4 wide, there is absolutely zero margin for error. There's not just, I slipped up the track a little bit. It's, I slipped up the track and immediately went into a car. And that's exactly what happened there. Someone may have gotten a little loose, got a little contact from a bump, and now the entire field is wrecked into turn number 2.
As we saw, that's pretty much what happened.
So now we'll see who the takers are. I'd imagine there's going to be a couple for MVP's going to go in. He's going to say he has not enough fuel to make it and going to finally pit. And that's going to cost him big time. He is going to get shoveled all the way down because he and one other car went in. Him and Shady are the only cars that went in. MVP is going to lose a lot of spots for his pit strategy, but we'll see if it can work out because he'll have the fresher tires again compared to majority of the field.
Nope, now I moved it too high up. I'm messing around with the overlay. I don't like where it's currently positioned. Come on, there we go. That's better. There's going to be NWR, Silent, and Frodo. Their first, second. And there's going to be Active and Kart Racer. D-Dog. He's slowing, creeping his way up into the 5th spot right now.
And MVP, again, was second place at time of caution. Now he is all the way down in 20th to 21st by the looks of it. That's
Yeah,
just how much a
so
pitch strategy
practically last.
can lose you positions. Yeah. But again, he'll have the fresher tires compared to the field, but the downside is now he went from second all the way down to pretty much the last row.
Practically indeed. Here it's going to be NWR Silent and Frodo. Like we said.
10 to go as well.
Yep, we're going to be approaching that 10 lap to go mark. They're going to be approaching that restart zone. Green flag.
Silent's going to get the edge over Frodo on the initial jump, but not too much space in between these cars. They pretty much kept all bumper to bumper for the most part.
Yeah, Silent didn't get as good as a jump, and maybe Frodo had hoped that he could have, so then he could go back down the inside and active.
Caution out. That was, I think, Frosty.
Yep, Frosty is around in the back. Exiv and others made contact, and you said caution was called?
I believe it was called to the line.
Oh,
yep,
here.
confirmed at the line.
Yep, here they go. They're going to race back to the line. Twitch making a run on the high line over Silent. And Twitch, I believe he got it right there at the end.
Yeah, rolled reverse for Silent on that last caution.
Yeah, you being able to try to hold strong on that inside line. With that kind of racing back to the checkers, that could give us a little prediction as to what might happen for the finish here if they're able to keep it together.
Well, we should have pretty much an identical race to the line as that caution, depending on how things go.
So now Twitch, the leader, here approaching towards the end of the race. Silent second. D-Dog will be third. LMP Amoeba in fourth and Exiv in fifth.
I don't think we'll see many people unless you were involved in that caution come down this pit road this time. I think a lot of people have already done their last pit stop, so I don't think more than 4 cars at most will be coming down this pit lane.
Yeah, and it's at this point in time where you already have enough fuel, you already have enough grip in your tires to really make it all the way towards the end of the race here. So, in reality, I see it as you only pit if you feel like you got nothing to lose. Twitch, he's gonna fake pit all the way. Fake pitting is allowed, but that was a very dangerous fake pit. So, yeah, Taker's only all the way there at the back. 3 drivers. There's going to be Cart, Dawson, and Frosty.
Only 3 takers that time by Cart, Dawson, Frosty. I think we already knew Frosty was going to go in.
Yeah,
he was, again, the car involved in that wreck.
Yep, Frosty was the car that spun there.
So, again, no shockers there, but Cart and Dawson are kind of a little bit shocking. I guess they were running a little bit later fuel strategy than the rest of the field.
All right, but here...
Or maybe they were involved in that wreck and we just didn't realize it.
All right, but here, approaching the end of the race, this is elbows out. This is elbows out. Track position is key. If you're at the back, you need it to be at the front now if you want to make sure to guarantee a spot to try and secure the win. Because as we wind these laps down and we get closer to when caution cutoff is, I believe for this race it will be lap 77. So when we get back going, there's not going to be much room for error in order for another caution to regroup the field.
Yeah, and you're gonna see the aggressive multiplier just start multiplying. So it's just gonna factor upwards from here on out. Especially once we hit that 5 to go, you're gonna see them start playing really aggressive, really tight moves, trying even gain a position or 2 just to get up to the front here.
Yep, we can expect that 100%. So Twitch and Silent will lead the front row here. It's going to be D-Dog and Amoeba in that second row. And then Exiv and Frodo leading that third row. Twitch will be your leader on the inside line to Silent. And on the outside, we're going to see how well of a jump these guys can get versus how long they've been running all race long. Green flag back out, and Twitch with a monster jump there over D-Dog.
Yeah, but the unfortunate part with that is, yeah, he got that monster jump, but with this draft, D-Dog is going to get a hell of a draft along with Silent. So he's going to have to do some very good blocking if he wants to keep these two guys behind him.
You could see it shortening and shortening right here. They're going to catch him off of turn 2. Silent pulls high. D-Dog going to tuck with it there on the bottom.
D-Dog's going to get the race lead for the first time this race for himself. We'll be able to see if he can lead a lap here, but there's 3 wide right behind him, so he's going to have a lot of work to do.
Twitch going to be left out in the middle. Amoeba making a close move. Amoeba's going to get tucked behind him in the middle. What an aggressive move there for Amoeba. He said, don't you dare. I want that middle line.
Sounds like there's a caution. Only caution can be called out on lap 77, so they're going to have 3 laps before a caution be called here.
All right, so it
Caution interval.
So it looks like a small interval in place right now. So only lap 77 can be a caution. Or we can have a caution be called, I should say. There, Amoeba making that middle lane work. He's trying to get Twitch up ahead. And he's going to see if Twitch can maybe clear one of those other 2 ahead of him. And then Amoeba will have a clear shot to the lead.
3 wide for the lead now. D-Dog on the bottom, Twitch in the middle, Silent on the outside.
Dawson almost got Twitchy there, very back of the pack there. But they're going to hold it straight for now. A little bit of tire rub contact there in the middle. It looked like that was Rewart and Jinkum getting together a tiny bit. But now, a lot of cars getting organized in all 3 lines. RV and Twitch leading the middle. D-Dog leading the bottom. It's going to be Silent leading the high line. Almost getting into the wall, and around they go. But no, they hold it straight.
Yeah, now we're on 5 laps to go, so now the aggressive factor is going to be exponentially higher. They are going to be making some moves that may not be the smartest, but just to gain a position or 2, it's just going to be what they need to do to win now. They're racing for themselves from here on out.
Silent trying his best to stay tucked in line behind Twitch. He almost got pulled up to that 3rd line, lap 77. This is the lap. If a caution's going to come out now, it has to be this lap, because once the leaders make it back around, if they make it back with the way that they're racing right now, and around they go!
Wrecking.
In the back!
Car shady involved. I can't see who that 3rd car is. Cautions were actually, no cautions can be called after lap 77, so there's not going to be a caution for him.
All right, so it looks like no yellow, but the way that the intervals and the way that they tried to format it out, no yellows can be called. More dicing around in the back.
Now everyone's really aggressive, coming to 3 to go.
Twitch still leading the back through the middle. Silent's going to be on that high line. He's going to clear them, but not going to move down. Now that leaves D-Dog there on the inside.
Oh!
Silent almost getting around, and they're almost going to be 4 wide with Nix there a couple rows back.
Yeah, Silent just barely so ever touched that wall, and it made that entire top line check up, and now that top line's almost completely non-existent, but Amoeba's going to try and start it again.
Going to take advantage. You knew that he wanted to make that move ever since he got behind Twitch in the middle. Now he has his own line to lead there on the top with Silent behind him. Twitch still leading strong in the middle. D-Dog holding wrong on the inside lane with Exiv behind him. This is going to get good. 3 laps to go.
Another guy that tried to take advantage of that top line, Big Mav in the 24, he's slowly catching up, and he's getting a lot of spots for taking that risk. So he's going to be rewarded heavily, but will be enough to get to the lead at the end of this race.
As we stated earlier, high risk, high reward. That's the matters that you're going to take into your own hands.
Big Mav just touched the wall, and it made a lot of cars check up.
Look at Dawson just in the middle, or sorry, in the inside line, making his way up a couple spots. He was all the way at the rear end of this pack. Amoeba and Twitch getting together closely. D-Dog and Exiv are going to clear. Who's going to move up? Neither one.
Like XF is gonna work with him. He wants to continue and push this lead, so he doesn't have to worry about it. He's gonna wait and bide his time, and this is really smart by XF.
2 laps
really,
to go.
really smart. And
no, he moves up. He has
XF
help
here.
from Ray's Peasant. XF now to the middle. It's going to be Ray's Peasant behind him. Twitch getting shuffled out.
Yeah, and look at that. And literally less than half a
Vision
lap.
making an aggressive move. Everyone jostling around. Now XF is going to bleed his way up. He's now in first. He goes and cuts off D-Dog.
That was very close. Less than half an inch between the two of them when you
And
moved
look
down.
how much this has changed coming off of turn 4. It's going to be down to the white flag. Final lap here at Daytona.
Ray's blocking. Ray's blocking. Now Nick's. They're 4 wide for the lead. 4 wide.
Almost for a split second, and around Frodo goes in half the field. They're all around, but it doesn't matter. It's still a race for the lead off turn 2. XF leading the bottom. Ray's and EMC Vision trying to fight with him. Nick's Designs in the picture as well. Vision leading through the middle. XF on the bottom.
It's going to come down to these 4 or 5 cars. There's one more car behind him. Stancy might have a shot here if he can time it up perfectly.
Off of 4, sprint to the checkered flag to the end of this first race of this season. Vision, XF, Nix is gonna get it on the inside line.
What a fantastic finish there. All
Nix
5 of those cars
Designs.
within 0.7.
Yes.
Within 0.07, those top 5.
And Nix Designs able to secure the win here at Daytona. What a sight and what a finish.
Those top 5 all finished with a time of 1:24.46. So to prove how close that was, there is not a second difference on the leaderboard. They were that close together, those top 5.
And Nix Designs, he started this race in P6. And he's able just to make up those 5 more spots that he needed. And he is going to capture, I believe that's his first career win. Not just in the Cup Series, but in XRS. That is his first career victory.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's really happy about that one. And it was a good fought win as well. He was up front all day long. Got set back a couple times due to a wreck or 2, but he managed to work his way back up every time. And in quick succession, I might add.
So we're going to go ahead. We're going to try and see if we can get these 3 guys in here. Post-race interview is going to be approaching here in a second. All right, we're going to try and get top 3 in here for post-race interviews, if all 3 wish to be in it. When you guys join in, please make sure to include your party audio. And I am going to run a mic check once all of us are in. I'm going to see if... I'm going to see if he's going to join in here. If not, then that is okay. But for now, Exiv and Nix, if you haven't included your audio already, go ahead, and then I'm going to run a quick mic check by you guys here in a sec. Okay, Exiv and Nix, mic check.
Copy.
Clear.
Yep, I heard you both, so we should be okay. Haven't gotten a response from EMC Vision yet, whether if he is going to accept his post-race interview or not. So for now, I think it's going to be okay for us to move on. So then that's just going to leave Exiv and Nix here. And yeah, still haven't gotten a message. So we're just going to go ahead and move on. Can't wait too long. So AK, I'm going to leave it to you. You can go ahead with Exiv.
Yeah, okay. So, we'll, again, XF, great race all in all. Very competitive by you, especially near the end there. So, I mean, what was your thoughts coming into today's race, right? What was your strategy for today's race? Obviously, it's Daytona, so you know teamwork and stuff is going to be a major factor. But what was your strategy in here today?
Well, main strategy was on qualifying pace. I knew I was going to be at the front, so I was trying to find a way to cycle myself to the front. I only had one teammate out there tonight. We tried to work together as much as we could. We couldn't really do much together, but everything kind of worked out there with that last caution, and I was able to cycle to the front. I almost lost it there at the end, but I was able to come home with a pretty good finish. Unfortunately, the run just wasn't there at the end for me to get the win, so I was trying to do everything I could, but didn't work out.
Yeah, and like you said, you were able to get that last caution, which really helped you and shuffle to the front. But obviously, hitting a couple cautions, how were you able to keep your head in the game and keep focus even when you were involved in a caution?
Well, I just knew every time there was a caution, there's a possibility for more to happen, and as long as you keep yourself up to speed and keep yourself around the right drivers and know what you're going to do with the car, you can make your way back to the front. And that's what we did. I knew that if I stayed on the bottom up there until the end, that people were going to start taking each other off on the top, and definitely worked out. I was able to get to the outside because guys at the end there were bumping and banging, and yeah.
I mean, obviously Daytona, it's always one of our most exciting tracks. So how do you think you need to prepare? What are the strategies for a racetrack like this in Daytona itself?
Here, what you really need to know is how much a fuel run is, and if with the accelerated tire wear, the tires can go that fuel run. From there, if you do get a green flag run, you want to try to be as fast as you can on and off pit road. But really, it's a lottery here. It's really, you can do all you can to try to win this race, but at the end of the day, it's up to other people to let you get there without wrecking. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, congratulations on today's finish, and good luck heading into the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Dan, to you with first place.
To first place indeed. So we're going to move on here to Nix Designs, formerly RZX Nix. Nix, you're able to get it done today. You started the race in P6, so you already had that track position and you were up front. We saw there early half of the race you were contesting a lot, going for that high risk, high reward on the third line, but finally able to capitalize it off. This is your first career win here in XRS, so how does it feel tonight? What was the process in your mind on there in the first half and then there towards the end as well?
Oh man, it feels good. It always feels good to be in victory lane after pretty much any race. Just being at that top step, it feels really good. But it's Daytona. It's chaotic. A lot is out of your control. So the biggest thing that you want to do is try and be in control. I know I was relatively aggressive with lane changing. I was usually one of the first drivers to pop and make a third lane move because it gives me control of at least one lane. If I'm able to get to the front, I'm able to kind of control what I can do and hopefully stay out of the way of any trouble that happens around me or behind me. But it's a whole shakeup, whether it's strategy, whether it's crashes, or just finding the right person to dance with at Daytona. It's always difficult, but we did it well. We did it fun. We came out on top, baby.
So you came out on top there indeed. There at the end, you were trapped behind towards the wall of cars. After everyone got taken out, it was a matter of survival there at the end. There, you were able to pull off the run. I almost didn't notice you until we were entering the tri-oval there on the bottom line. So was that just quick thinking, or in that moment, what were you even thinking about to even try and get around everyone there?
Heading down the back into 3, I was pushing vision, and the biggest thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get to the outside. Obviously, that has the best lane off of, or the best run off of 4. That's just the best lane to be to coming across the line. I wasn't able to get there. I was stuck behind the top 3. And coming off of 4 at that point, I was hoping to stay in the run, hoping they made contact. And right as they did, I knew to make my move. I darted to the inside. Kind of a last-minute decision. I think I blacked out. Just didn't really think too much, but we kept it straight, didn't get turned. Oh, it's a risky business making moves like that, but when they work well. This one gave us the win, so love to have that momentum.
And definitely propelling that momentum forward for you. Wish best of luck to you for every race here onward. Hopefully you can stick around with us. I know you have tried to run with XRS here in the past, but now I believe hopefully you're able to run full time. And now you have that win under your belt. That doesn't necessarily lock you into playoffs. I know we do have a playoff system, but that doesn't necessarily lock you in. You still need to show up. You still need to show out. But this win definitely going to give you a big points boost right away. Good luck to you for next week and onward for the rest of the season.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll carry this momentum into next week.
All right, so that will wrap up post-race interviews there today here for the season opener of Season 14 of XRS at Daytona. AK, some closing thoughts on the race today?
Yeah, I think it went exactly how we expected it to, right? We had big wrecks, we had a close finish, we had tight racing. Pretty much checked off everything that Daytona usually brings to the racing. So I think it was a really good race all in all. A really nice finish. Again, top 5 cars all within, 0.5, 0.07 of each other, something like that. All within the same second of each other for sure. So, I mean, it brought everything we wanted and hoped it would from this race today.
All right. So, here, and I actually see Cart put something in the announcements there. Just apologizing for the start of the season, for setting up the lobby, people lagging in the lobby, rules that weren't stated in the beginning. So, yes, it was the start of another era that we haven't been around in a while. It has been a while since we have done coordinated streams to be able, like we said, at the very beginning of the broadcast, we haven't done a race broadcast since August of 2023. And here we are, January 2025. Able to finally put on a show. We will for sure improve the little its and bits every now and then, but a season opener at Daytona, not much is going to change, even if it's an entirely new game. So we saw some intense racing action here tonight. We saw 3x3 all throughout, like we previously stated. We saw a couple big wrecks, a couple small ones with a handful of cars involved. But all of that is going to change dramatically for what we're going to see next week, as we're going to head straight into a road course, and one of the more difficult ones at that. We're going to be racing at Mid-Ohio next week, and it will be the full circuit. It's not going to be that shortened circuit that doesn't include Turn 2. So the full circuit at Mid-Ohio next week. AK, can we hope to see you there?
Yeah, I should be able to, again, as long as everything goes according to plan and nothing pops up last second. So it should be, again, another great race. I'm excited to see how the drivers now handle a road course with these cars. And again, like I said, should be a fun and good race.
All right, should be fun and exciting indeed. Next week, Mid-Ohio, same time as this week today, Sunday evening. And now here for everybody here at XRS, I'm Fan2403. That's AKDJ2006, and we will see you next